Today I'm going to show you how to make a professional headshot using AI with all cloud resources or free local training. So I wanted to make some new thumbnails for my YouTube videos. I wanted to see how good AI would be at doing it, and I looked at these websites. It's $39, $25, $39, $69, but $155, 24, like all of these things are crazy amounts of money. And realistically, like if you've got a half decent computer, you can make it yourself, or better still, you can just use cloud resource and do it for about $1. So I trained this model in around an hour online using free resource. It cost less than $1. I think it was around 59 cents, and it was really easy to do. So how do we do that? I'm going to show you. So there's 8 steps for us to do this. Step 1 is gather your images. So as you can imagine, it's very important that we get a bunch of images that are high quality of our subject. So here we go. Here's 21 pictures of me. I'm just going to go through them and see whether or not we could use them. So this one, 2 people in it. So we probably want to think about either cropping that or just changing it. This is fine. This is fine. Maybe a little bit low quality, and again 2 people. The quality in that one's too rubbish. But we'll go through as we do it. So this first one, we're just going to edit with MS Paint. So open with Paint. Then we're just going to go, nope, you didn't make the cut. Here we go. I'm going to cut out some of that background as well. Just save that. Beautiful. This one, we will again shift right click and open with Paint. And bye, you didn't make the cut. Another one here. And sorry, you're not in this picture either. This one we were going to delete. This one's good because we've got a slight angle. There we go. Let's get rid of that one. This one probably again too low quality, so we're just going to get rid of it. But that's the larger thing. This one's no good because there's something in the way of my mouth. I mean, it's cool that I'm in a helicopter, but that's no good for a picture. This one again, fine. This one, probably want to cut out the guy in the background, just to put a bit more focus on the subject. Oh, this is a massive picture. I can't see the blooming dots for. Hang on a second. Come on, Paint, show me the dots. There we go. Cool, super high quality picture, just what we like. This one, sunglasses. It's great that it's nice and close to my face, but those sunglasses are a big no-go. Like, we don't want that. And kill that. This one's fine. This one's really good. This one's really good. Different angle again. Like, you could literally just take a bunch of photos of you from different angles. This one, again, let's cut out person in the background. This is a ridiculously oversized picture, but fair enough. We will train it to be amazing. Very high quality image. This one, again, fine. This one, we will cut out my lovely lady. These pictures are probably a bit too big, to be fair, but it's fine. And this one, the final image. Quality's probably a bit crap. Yeah, we'll get rid of it. We've got plenty of images, haven't we? We've got 15. 15 is brilliant. So, right, what is our next step to success? So, now we need to identify a celebrity. So, to speed up training, we want to pick a celebrity that most looks like the person. So, if you look at me, obviously it's Zac Efron, right? Here we go. Here's all the angles. Yep, I definitely some kind of super mega hot celebrity. Maybe not. But there's a site here called Star by Face. I'll just zoom in for you. You literally take your pictures, you upload them. Let's find one that looks at me at my best. You upload it here, and it goes, here we go. The celebrity that you most look like is, I guess, maybe Paul Reisler. It's not always the top one. Maybe that one. Let's try again. Paul Reisler's our current winner. I'm sure you lot can all shout out in the background. We'll go with this guy. This guy is definitely my new celebrity hero. And I'll just save that down because I'm terrible with celebrities and I can never remember names. Go wait. So, now that we know our celebrity, it's going to be easier to train our model. because we know who we're trying to look like. So we now need to caption the existing images that we have. So in here, like, so that the model will be trained well, we want picture of a man facing to the left with a brush in the scene, man leaning forward next to a beer, pulling a stupid face. You can do this by hand. You can do this using clip, but actually I'm going to use a technique that I don't think I've seen any YouTubers use just yet, and that is use GPT Vision. Like, GPT Vision is fantastic at identifying what's in an image. So I've written this cool little script here that I will paste somewhere and you guys can use, and I just pass it in the path, my folder. I have to use double backslashes because it's Windows and it's fun like that. I just run this, and again I will give you the wonderful command to run with it. And we get man in a blue suit, cream tie, holding a microphone, indoor settings, portrait, smiling, stylish haircut, partial view of painting on the wall, clothes rack in the background. That's way better than what you're going to get out of Clip or Blip for what people would standardly tell you to do. And if we look, 1841 was the thing, 1841. I mean, it thinks it's a microphone. It's clearly a hairbrush, but it will do. And this will just create text files with the same name as the photo. So you could call this 1.jpg, 2.jpg for all it mattered, and then describe what's in it. You can do this by hand, and I would encourage you to do this by hand. So in here, I might say man with spiky hair looking to his left or camera right, wearing a t-shirt with red circles on it, stood in front of a door. And what we're trying to do is, by having this, we're telling the AI what it's generating. So when it then comes to learn to create that celebrity, or Ashley, or whatever the celebrity's name is, then it knows that the door that's in here is not part of Ashley, so it can remove Ashley from the equation. It can remove the door from the equation and just leave Ashley, so it's learning on that, which is really, really cool and really powerful. But the better you caption the images, the better you'll get. And obviously, by doing this and having warm lighting, hoodie, indoors, high resolution, clear skin, short hair, perfect. Like that will, the more we can subtract from what we want the end goal to be, the better. So going back to here, what's the next step in our big way forward? So now we have to decide, do you want to run locally or use the cloud? I've got a pretty powerful machine, so I'm quite lucky in that I can just run it locally. So I can download Koya and I can run it entirely on my machine and it won't be a problem at all. Or we can use a service like RunPod and it comes with everything. I'm going to do that just so you guys can follow along, and then you can have whatever machine you want. So to find that, we just zoom in a bit. Just go to runpod.io, I think it is, and then sign in. And then on the secure cloud, I mean, literally at the top here is the Koya SS Comfy UI Ultimate Mega Template, which makes everyone's life super easy, right? And then just pick how much you want to pay, really. Like, maybe I want to pay 74 pence per hour for a 4090. That's pretty good. I mean, if you use Community Cloud, you can get it even cheaper. So realistically, I could probably get that 4090 here for 59 cents per hour. Does it say the internet speed? I would like extreme internet speed because that's what I care about. So here we go. Let's just deploy here. Yeah, the template we want is the Koya one. We want it on demand. I mean, you can actually make it even cheaper still and have it interruptible. I'm gonna hold it because, like, I don't want the demo to die on you, but you can save a bunch of money doing that. And then we just click continue and deploy. And from there, if we give it a minute, I'm not going to click just because it takes a while to do it. We now have this that is hopefully doing some stuff. Yeah, it's just downloading all the Docker container stuff. And once it's done, we will be given the option to connect. So I think somewhere there's a little bit of information that tells us how we can connect and on which way. But yeah, you see the speed of this. This is amazing. So some things to point out here as it's actually building this machine for me. I'm for 59 cents getting a 4090 to train on, 10 core CPU and 41 gigs of RAM. I'm only doing a stable diffusion model, but you could just as easily be training an LLM, so something like ChatGPT. Obviously not ChatGPT, but like Mistral or something like that. And I haven't had to spend thousands of pounds on hardware, and I can just use it there. And I can actually deploy this as a little serverless endpoint, either within RunPod or something like Replicate, and it's fantastic. And by doing that, I haven't had to purchase any hardware. If the hardware goes out of date when the 4090 Super comes out next month, or when the 50 or the 5000 series comes out, I'm still winning. I'm very happy and I can do as I please. What if you want to run this locally? So if you want to run this locally, you just search for SS GitHub. And is that the right one? Yeah, it looks like the right one. So you can download this. I mean, there's a bunch of tutorials on there. Oh, I believe there's probably some tags you can download. Yeah. So you can either download the latest tag from here, or you can just plain master. So you can download it as a zip if you want. Probably most of you by now had Git installed, so copy that and then just Git clone, or if you're using Tortoise, then you can simply Git clone like that and put that in there, and then it will download to wherever you put it. Once that's downloaded, you can simply run, I think it's setup, is it? Type, yeah, setup.bat is in here somewhere. There we go. So if you run that, that will create a virtual environment and will have everything set up for you locally. So install all the packages, and then once you've done that for the first time, you can just run GUI.bat, and that will just run the thing for every iteration going forward. Again, I'm going to use the live one, but it's just the same as running it locally. This just allows more people watching this video to be able to follow along. Right, that's now up. It probably took a little less than 5 minutes, but it's been up 5 minutes. I wandered off to sort out the washing, so such is life. Cool thing is there's a little readme, and the most important bit from the readme is these ports. So this is a little container that's running on someone else's machine or potentially a cloud provider, depending on whether you use secure or community. And it's running all of these different things. So what we care about right now, oops, no, that one, is the Koya SS thing. So we're going to connect to Koya SS, and this will, once it connects, give us our little container. Oh, in fact, before that, what we probably want to do is we probably want to connect to Jupyter, because that will allow us to upload some stuff. So if we just connect to 88888 and then look for our password. There's just a new password to that. An extra character. Look at that, crazy people. Right, so in here we've got the opportunity to make a new folder, which we're going to call training pics, obviously, and then we're going to upload, hopefully, all of these files. Brilliant. So we now have all of those files ready to go. So back to the Koya GUI, and we'll go to Laura. In fact, we're going to do dataset preparation, sorry. So our training images are workspace / training pictures. Our celebrity look-alike is Michael Rosenbaum, which actually we should do an extra thing to check. So if we check actually within Stable Diffusion, which we probably don't have the model for yet, so we might not be able to do this, but we'll see. I don't know if this comes with any models. Oh, it does. Perfect. So if we were to check that this celebrity is featured in here, We'll just do turn 24 and turn 24 because this is SDXL. Oh, okay, we'll go for 20 steps in that. I would normally use something else. Okay, that looks like that dude. So what we're trying to double check is that this dude is in the training data. I mean, that's a very washed out version of his face, but he's in there. So if we picked a celebrity that wasn't in there, then that celebrity is no good to us, where we have to pick a different celebrity. But starting from that celebrity is fine. So our celebrity name is Michael Rosenbaum. So our instance prompt is going to be Michael Rosenbaum. And our class prompt is going to be man or person, but we'll go for man. Repeats in here. Like realistically, you can get away with 1 with 15 pictures. We'll do 10 for sake of argument. Regularization images. We don't need to do this, but we could. So what we could do is we could do man. We could just set this to Euler A. Just quickly check to see what this outputs. For some reason the UI has mucked up. There we go. You probably need like 30 steps to make it a bit more realistic. But what we could do using remotely is a bit slow. What we could do is we could literally generate like, I don't know, maybe 800. That's how many that would be. So what, we'll make 96 photos. And yeah, we'll just do that. So what that will do, if I click start now, it's just going to make basically 100 photos. Going to take around 10 minutes of man, and then when I'm training my model in here and I've got a class prompt of man, it's going to know what to remove from the training data. So that's just general man, and then Ashley or Michael Rosenbaum in this particular case, the features that vary from man to Michael are going to be the features that we want to take as that's the significant changes. So if we were to have a quick example, here is a person. That's just any old person. But here is Pinocchio, right? So actually the defining feature of Pinocchio is that big nose. So if I was to then say a dog that looked like Pinocchio, it would know to make, this is a dog if anyone's curious, it would know to make something that looked like that. That's a dog. In fact, dogs have a bit of a bigger mouth, don't they? Let's pretend that's its mouth. But that's the specific feature that makes Pinocchio Pinocchio. There's obviously more things, so maybe he has a hat, I don't know what it is that Pinocchio has. But rather than training all of the stuff around the face and the fact that it has a body and it has arms and stuff like that, it's just picked up that there's a nose and the other bits. So we want to give it some regularization images. So in this case, we just want to give it some random men, and then we want to remove that from what the specifics are that make Michael Rosenbaum. I'm really curious who he is now. But you could do the same thing for woman or for train, if you were trying to train some specific kind of train, or boat, if you wanted a boat that had stars on. So your instance prompt would be like a boat with stars, and your class prompt might be boat. And we will ultimately be putting it in there. And our destination training directory is going to be to train from. Hopefully if we go back to this Jupyter lab here, we should be able to see, I don't actually know where the output is for here, or workspace probably. So I've got a camera in my way. Stable diffusion, outputs, text to image, So I know that the very first image that I generated and the second image I generated were trash from what I remember. Yeah, I mean, I could probably keep that first one, but I'm going to delete this because that's actually Michael, whatever his name is. And then I'm going to take this path. Can I just copy path? Are you going to be nice? Copy path, there we go. And then in Koya, we're going to say our regularization images are here, because the only images we've made at this point are of that man. And then we will prepare the training data. Remember that I've also uploaded those captions, but I just need to wait for the rest of these images to finish training. So I'm just going to pause the video and I'll be back in 3 minutes. Alright, we've got 4 seconds left and then we're done. So the good news is, there's a keen eye you might have spotted that actually whenever you watch these sorts of videos, people always try and sell you on their Patreon to get the 1,000 regularization images as if they're the super mega thing. But we've just proven like regularization images are just images from the UI. You can make them yourself. It doesn't take very long. It's probably better to make them yourself unless you're using the same model as the author, which you probably are if you're using the base, but I can't promise you that. I can't promise you that, but yeah, you probably are. But what this will do though is this will make the UI run like absolute trash because no one likes loading 1,000 images. Well, I think I'm doing 100. So I'm just going to generate one more image of man, and the reason for that is just so my UI stops running so slowly. But you see the variation that you get in man, like there's quite a lot. So we want to make sure that we're just excluding like this and not all the cars when it's doing things. You'll see. Anyway, so we've got all of our outputs, we've got our training pictures, we've got our instance prompt, we've got our man. We've gone for 10 repeats. We can talk about that later. 10 repeats with 15 pictures is fine. Always one for regularization. I mean, I could do 10, but that'd just be ludicrous. Now I'm going to click prepare training data. You don't see what happens. It's really annoying that you don't see what happens. And then just copy info to folders tab, which it should really just do automatically, but they don't do that. Don't know why. So now in folders, you can see we've now got the train from an image. And if we were to look in the Jupyter notebook, all the way back in workspaces, we've got to train from image Michael, and here are our text files with the blah 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 blah, and our picture here. That's a man in a blue suit. Cool. So now that we've got that, the all important step is this configuration file, because it'll just make your life easier. I'm just going to share you a configuration file that you can use, and then we don't have to bother setting everything. It'll make life easier. Just going to pause this video while I load it. In fact, I needn't have paused it because apparently I need to upload it first. So if we go back to the Jupyter Labs book again, and we will just go to workspace, and I'm going to upload this, and I'm going to copy the path. Zoom in a bit more so you can see this. I'm going to copy the path, and I'm going to put that in there. So now that's loaded, I now get to put in the model output name. So in this example, I'm going to do Ash, and then say I remember who to use as the keyword. I'm going to put Michael Rosenbaum, and then training call is going to be use the keywords. So this has set all of our parameters for us. I'm not going to talk through all of it. We could tweak some of the stuff if we really wanted to, but you don't really need to. 10 epochs, probably fine for what we're looking for. And yeah, once you're happy with that, we just click start training. I've jumped some steps in my thing, but actually we set up the folders, we set up the parameters, and now we're clicking train. Beautiful. The only problem is we can't see what's going on because normally you'd have a little console window. However, Jupyter comes in clutch as per always. From the Jupyter notebook, you can launch a terminal, and then from this terminal you can say tail-f/workspace/logs and Koya ss log, and what that'll do is it'll allow you to watch what's going on in real time. Just quit this window. It'll allow you to watch what's going on in real time, and you'll be able to see the training as it steps along. As you can see, with a 4090, like one iteration per second, roughly, it's going to take about 3,000 seconds to get that full training done, which is super fast. I think I get about three seconds per iteration on a 3090, so 4090 obviously just about double the performance, really. Like, very impressive, and it means I can use my computer while that's going on. Anyway, catch you in a second. Right, so the good news is we're almost done with this training. I've just got a cat to sit on me, but as you can see, there we go, it's just finished. It's now saving the model, which it does almost immediately. What you've missed is, whilst I was waiting for that to load, if you look in the workspace, am I still zoomed in? Let's make it life easier. Yeah, if you look in the workspace, the file name that we chose in the workspace was to train from, and it makes all these folders for us. So it makes the image folder, which contains all those images that we did. It makes the log folder, so if you wanted to see the log of training, you can see I've restarted a couple of times because of the video. The regularization, so this should contain all of our images about the man, and then most importantly is the model file. So remember, right here we're training LoRa's. So in this folder you can see a bunch of JSON files. So these are actually me trying a million times. You'll probably only have one JSON file, and this is the settings that we use as part of the training. Whereas all of these, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are actually the LoRa's. So the reason why there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, etc. is because I've set it to save at the end of every epoch. So this is our final model here, but actually this is epoch 1, epoch 2, epoch 3, epoch 4, epoch 5, etc. And so sometimes not the latest will be the most interesting file. I'm going to download them all because I want them all locally, but actually also we're going to copy these. And then we're going to look in our workspace. We're going to find the Stable Diffusion UI. In here, we're looking for models. Am I on the right one? Yeah, we're looking for models, and then LoRa. And then we can just paste these into here. And then with a bit of luck, it will load. Pasting. If not, we can cheat and use the terminal. So we can absolutely... Ooh. My server might have died. That's more interesting. Either that or this is just very slow. Oh, there we go. It's just very slow. That's the magic trick. So they are copying. But what this means now is if we go back to the Stable Diffusion, so automatic 111, let's just check to see if more of these are appearing. We should now be able to make a prompt. So I forget what our magic... There we go. They're all appearing now. So let me just steal this. In here, if we go to the LoRa section, so they don't give you a refresh thing, we can actually just, in extension, just click apply and restart UI. That'll just make it reload everything. I guess apparently when there's nothing in there it doesn't give you the refresh button, but when there's something in there it does give you a refresh button. Here we go. So because we're using SDXL, we want this set to 1024. And now in the LoRa section, here we go, we've got a bunch of LoRa's. So we will take the final one, and that's our keyword. So we'll say Michael Rosenberg holding up or wearing a silly hat. And although we're not actually after Michael Rosenberg, we're after Ash. So when this generates, and we'll just go back to here, let's set this up to 40, because why not? When this generates, this now should give us a beautiful picture of me wearing a silly hat. And again, you can copy this just the same when you run it locally, but we're running it in the cloud because it's faster and prettier and nicer and all those things. And when it finally wakes up, there we go. So here is our new LoRa that we've just trained. And there is a really high quality picture of me wearing a stupid hat. And actually, probably we don't even need to look at the other versions, but what you can do is we could try switching out. So instead of taking that one, we could try putting in epoch 2. All right, let's put in epoch 1. So what you should see is that the more training it's had, assuming you don't overtrain it and it adds weird colors. The more training you add, the the more precise the picture. However, the less training, so this has got slightly less training, it's not quite as precise, but it's more flexible. So I could put this as riding a unicorn on the moon, and this will be much more susceptible to other inputs. Oh, let me move my head out of the way. This will be much more susceptible to other inputs. However, it might not look as close to me as possible. So if I was to then switch back to the other one, so that doesn't look particularly like me. Actually, that looks like the original guy, I'd say. But now if we switch back to our more strongly trained one, I wish I'd kept the seed for that. That's quite a cool image. Oh, that should have been the thumbnail, right? But yeah, if I switch back to the more strongly done one, oh, it's just downloaded all of our things. That's excellent. I wouldn't call that a unicorn. Yeah, so the stronger one is struggling with unicorn, but it's probably got a better copy of my face. So we'll go again with the same seed and see what it comes out with here. And it's at this point that I might say, oh, actually, that's lost like what I want for the rest of the image. So I might swap out that one and maybe swap in number 5. And then we just play with it. Basically, there's no right or wrong answer. We will play with it until we get the image that is still flexible enough, but still looks like me. Or looks like our particular subject. So yeah, like that. That's not too bad. And then if we just put business profile picture, because you see these generators are going around for like 30 bucks a pop or whatever it is to get your profile image. We've trained this. It's probably going to cost us maybe $2. In fact, probably only $1. It was 59 cents, right? And I think I've had it running for about a couple of hours. See, I don't think that's good enough. I think probably I'm going to go with the full 10. Because the other things you can oh, I didn't turn it off. That was silly. Interrupt. Doesn't like it when you click interrupt, does it? But yeah, like ultimately, play around with it. You've got these LoRa's. Obviously, download them. Once you've downloaded them, you can run them locally. You can upload them as part of a LoRa to be used on any of the cool web UI things. Yeah, that's what happens when you interrupt. You can do whatever you want with it, really. But here we go. Fantastic profile photo. This could be my new mega business photo. You saw, like, I didn't have that as an input at all. And there's me. Hopefully it looks a bit like me if I try and remember the camera's mirrored. But yeah. Oh, I've been playing games, if you can't tell. I didn't even think that I got a headset on. But yeah, here we go. So do I look more like that image now? Hey! But yeah, it's really cool. Like, it's completely free to use, or not free, it's completely like, you don't need a powerful computer to do it. I've downloaded all those models, so I can see I've got Ash 9, 6, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to quickly pop up and check that I've got what I want. 2 seconds. So the most important one is that one. Yep, I've got it. And so now we've produced our final model, we can literally load it with other models. So Juggernaut XL is a model that came from Stable Diffusion XL. So any other model that came from that same original base model, we can then apply it. So here we go, here's my LoRa, and then my keyword to trigger the LoRa, and holding a cucumber. There we go, there's a picture of me holding a cucumber. Again, that was done with 20 steps. I'm sure if I bumped the steps up to 40, it would look even better, but I'm just trying to do stuff quickly. If we wanted to do something like waving at the Queen, maybe. I can't type. But you get the idea. Essentially, we can do whatever we want with this model now, and we're not bound by waving with the Queen. We're not bound by by just using Stable Diffusion XL. But the catch is it has to be from the same base. So if you find a newer, better model on Savite, if I can spell it right. Can't spell it right. Savite. Yeah, there we go. You can find a better model on here that looks like it matches what it is that you wanted. Then by all means, like just download DrillViz XL and then go from there. Or Dreamshaper XL. I think I've got Dreamshaper XL installed, have I? Yeah, here we go. So I can take that already great model and then jumping on a, I don't know, football. Let's put kicking a football. It's probably a bit more realistic. But we can take the already improved model from Stable Diffusion XL, apply our LoRa on top of it, and now all of a sudden we've got whatever character it is that we chose in that new improved model. And again, this is with 20 steps. I could bump it all the way up and I could apply high res fix. I'm not going to do that for the sake of the demo, but you could have better quality than this. But there's me kicking a football, living the dream. Let's put stage singing a concert. You can put yourself in whatever wonderful position you want to be in. Make your new social media poses from here. On the beach in Mexico. Here we go, this is that time that I performed. I'm guessing that guy who I've come from obviously wore that t-shirt a lot. It seems very common that I've got that t-shirt on in these particular things. Oh, there we go, there's me looking absolutely ripped. Beautiful. And you'll notice that I've applied that, and that's just because I'm using open source models, which can maybe stray away from that. So I'm just putting that as a negative filter to stop that from happening. And I presume if I was to reuse that same seed and ask to give it more steps, we'd get better eyes, because these are a bit dodgy. That nose there could be improved. Maybe like the skin line here could be better. I could probably have less veins. But obviously it takes longer to draw when you use this. And again, high res fix, do a great job. The refiner, that would do a great job. All of these things are accessible. There we go, like that looks better. My eyes are more fixed. I've not got a weird thing going on with my nose anymore. You can play with all these different settings. The best one probably is just turning on high res fix, to be honest, and then just setting it to real Erzgan. Well, I don't know how you pronounce that, ESRGAN. And then I normally set it to like 1.5, and then if we would do the exact same thing again, that would come out even prettier. You can use the refiner. I find the refiner tends to like lose the person a bit. It seems to add like a bunch of details, but not necessarily like the correct details. Whereas high res fix, like I could put some sampling steps in there as well. I didn't, I just basically applied the upscaler. Could have done the same thing on image to image, so don't hate me, people in the comments. But ultimately it produces pretty good results. I can't remember how many steps I had for the upscaler, and that single upscale. It just upscales 36 tiles. Although why that's 40 steps, I'm not sure, but I'm sure someone can point that out at the bottom. But now I can go on Instagram, I can go on whatever it might be on my travel blog and say, hey, remember that time I went to Mexico? And here's the fantastic picture of me enjoying myself, looking absolute shredded, and no work's required. I could also make myself looking really fat, just so people don't feel too bad and they don't moan at me for trying to fake my photos. There we go, that's the same image, but you can see the eyes are much more detailed now. Seem to have gained some third nipples, so you probably want to do a bit of cleanup. But for the most part, that looks really good. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. For a thumbnail, it'll look fantastic. And there we go, there's Ashley looking a bit fatter, but still really strong. So there's some things you can do in Courtier to remove the large file size and make them much smaller. It's cool, like play with it, do what you want with it, keep yourself happy. But from here, you can just train and make models as much as you want, or if you're done with it, ultimately you can just stop. And I'm happy with that. I'm completely done with this model. Like, I don't need to do anything else. I'm very happy with my final output, so I'm just going to stop it now. I'm very happy. I've definitely downloaded it. Yeah, definitely downloaded it. Brilliant. Yes, I'm fine with that. So I exited, and I think if I was to jump to my GPU cloud, there we go, I spent 63 cents, is it? Cost me 62 cents for running that. There you go, that's how much it costs. Literally, like, barely anything. And to make sure you don't get charged once you stop the instance, you just need to come over here, click this terminate button, and then yes. There we go, there's no storage charge at any point now, you're done. From there, you can obviously train other things. You don't have to do your face, you can do someone else's face. You could just go on Google and search for, I don't know, Robbie Margot or something. So no, there we go. And then in images, wherever it is, in images, you can click tools, you can click size. I'd recommend using large if you can, and find ones from varied angles. Try not to get watermarks in it. Try to make sure all the same thing that we do normally, like a nice clear shot. In fact, there's some great photos of her, like they're all really high quality. There's not much in the background. Yeah, like you train a model on her very, very easily. Obviously remove this guy, he's not what we want. Again, a brilliant photo. So easy for you to do this. But I think if we look through here, final thing to do is use the LoRa. We used the LoRa, we made some pretty pictures of me. I was quite happy with it. Hopefully you guys were quite happy with it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys produce of it. Put something on your blog, make yourself some YouTube thumbnails, do whatever you might please of it. And anyway, have a great day. Like and subscribe!